Hello, welcome to Signature Consequence. My name is Nelson, and we're here today with a comic review. I figured this would be a pretty good first Western comic review on my channel because so far I've been pretty focused on manga. But there is a reason why my channel is called Sequential Consequence and not Manga Consequence or something. But I figured this would be a really good first comic review because I feel like it would be a really good recommendation for manga fans for various reasons. But yeah, without further ado, let's just get started. This is published by Vault Comics, and it is written by, let me actually look at her name, Natasha Alterici. It is written and drawn by Natasha Alterici. She actually does everything else. Rachel Deering, the other name on the cover, is the letterer. So really, this is a labor of pretty much just one person, which is kind of uncommon for Western comics. I mean, if you're here and you've been watching me for my manga, but you are unfamiliar with Western comics, usually there will be a writer, there will be a penciler, there will be a colorist, and sometimes there will be an inker as well. But when there is not an inker, usually the penciler will do that as well. So it's a little bit more involved in manga, where manga is usually the vision of one artist's writer. Sometimes they'll have two. They'll have someone doing art and someone writing in manga, but that's kind of rare. But in Western comics, that is the norm. But here, it's just one person, and I think usually stories benefit a lot from that because you don't have to try to communicate to your artist what you want to get across. But yeah, without further ado, let's just actually get into the story a little bit here. And this is Heathen, and that title is actually kind of important because it's the main theme of the story. Because there are different kinds of people here that are labeled as heathens for doing things that are really not wrong at all. But because this is a world steeped in tradition, they get castigated for it. So this is a world loosely based on. Actually, I don't know. I don't think I would even say it's loosely based. It's quite based on Norse mythology, Vikings, that kind of thing. And our main character is indeed a Viking. She actually got exiled from her town because she kissed a girl, and her father was given the option of either sentencing her to death or forcing her to marry. And of course, she cannot marry a girl. This is I'm assuming during that era. They never really say when the story happens, really, or if it even happens in. It definitely happens on Earth because things that happened in history are actually mentioned here, like the Christians converting the pagans, for example. But but yeah, she gets exiled for kissing a girl, and her father, basically, he says that he's gonna kill her. He tells the priests or I don't know, whoever, the elders, I think, who gave her the punishment, gave him the choice, and he was like, okay, I'll sentence her to death. And but this is kind of a kind of a fake out, because what he actually ends up doing is he just takes her somewhere and he frees her, because I'm assuming they don't really go into it, but it's implied that he would rather give his daughter freedom, or this version of freedom, rather than marry her off to a man that she would not love. Um, so yeah, this follows her, as always Ada's, as she tries to free a Valkyrie named Brynhild, and Brynhild has basically been imprisoned on top of a mountain, and she's been cursed by Odin to stay there until someone is brave enough to brave the flames and rescue her. And basically, the flames act as like a test of bravery, and they were the only condition that this Valkyrie wanted as part of her punishment. And I won't really get into why she got punished or all that. I don't really want to give away everything in the story. But basically, this Valkyrie is imprisoned up there, and only someone with enough bravery can actually venture through the flames. And the catch is that she has to marry. a mortal. She has to marry a mortal in order to leave her exile. And um, and basically, our main protagonist here, she tries to go and free her. The problem is obviously they can't get married because they're both women, and this world here does not tolerate that. And that's a big part of where that name comes from, Heathen. And we're also shown how there's a witch character in here, for example, that, and a witch is really just someone who makes potions. Really, that's what it all comes down to. But there's a character here that's a witch also, and she tries to sell. And what was it? Oh, she tries to help out this gay kid. Um, she tries to help him out, and then they get like they get seen, and things like don't really go very well for them. But basically, this witch is also seen as a heathen. And then they go up to her and is like, "Oh, what's going on? You know, witches have been living as part of your community for a really long time. This is these things that have happened because they're blaming this witch's arrival for their loss of crops, for their warriors not returning from war. They're basically blaming all of their ill fortune on this witch." Because she's a witch. And the thing is, these people have actually been converted by Christians, so they no longer believe in the old religions. So of course they're labeling this witch as a heathen, even though all she's doing is really just concocting potions and helping. And of course they also labeled that kid as a heathen because he was committing what they considered an unnatural act. And the kid, of course, since he doesn't want to be punished, he says that he was possessed by a demon. And of course, these people are just full of superstition, and they're gonna believe that, and they believe that over the witch, and they instead try to lynch the witch. I'm not gonna really get into it on how that happens because I don't want to give away too much of the story. But let me actually show you some art because the art is, I think, the highlight of the story. And it's just beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. I really love the art here, and I think this is exactly why I think it would be a good recommendation for manga fans. The art is just amazing. It's kind of lightly colored, kind of almost minimalistic, just very expressionistic style, and she is not afraid to play around with her level of detail, as you can see here in this bowl. Just really nice paneling here. I'm a big fan of the art here, and I will definitely be picking up more of these as it goes along. It's one of the covers. And I'm trying not to show you any spoilers, but I also want to show you like art that will be representative of what you're gonna get. That's another cover with the first page. It's just so beautiful, man. It's just such a beautiful series. But yeah, this is a really great read. Basically, I didn't even touch on it. I didn't even touch on what the actual like main plot is. Basically, our friend here is on a mission to end the subjugation of women and their culture. And this is very much a feminist comic. And no, it does not bash you over the head with it. It is very well handled, and I could not recommend it anymore. I really think it's a top tier comic. Of course, this is only the first volume. There is a second volume out, which I'm going to place an order pretty soon for. And there is a third one coming out in, I think, the end of July. I don't know if that's going to get delayed or not with all that's going on right now, but yeah, really cool story. I don't really want to spend too much more time talking about it since it's only one volume. But if you're a fan of comics, I don't know why you haven't picked this one up yet. If you're a fan of manga, this is a really good really good segue. Honestly, I think that a lot of people would enjoy this for sure. The cover price on this is $15.99, but you can find this online for about $10. I recommend going to instocktrades.com. They're usually the cheapest. Um, but you can find this on Amazon for cheaper as well, or eBay. Um, you can always find comics cheaper than cover price. I'm only saying this, I know some people watching me already know this, and I've already heard this many times, but I'm just mentioning this because most of my viewership is our manga fans, so they might not know, and you really should know. So yeah, hope you enjoyed the video. I'll have more reviews coming up soon as I read more things, and now I'm getting more into the rhythm of actually making these reviews, and yeah, I hope you guys enjoy. I think I'm getting a little bit better at it. But if you have any suggestions, let me know down in the comments. If you do end up picking this one up, please do let me know what you think. And let me know if if you've never read a comic and you pick this one up, or you read it online and you like it. Please let me know. I don't know, just let me know what you think, and where the context of your situation, if you're a manga reader only, if you've delved into comics a little bit, if you read both. Or just let me know how you like it. I'm kind of curious to see how some of these recommendations will pan out. I think I will make a video in the future about recommendations, comic recommendations for manga fans and vice versa, and this will definitely be on it. So yeah, until next time, see ya later.